People, I'm back again. Now, Arsenal managed to, obviously, we just drawn with Sporting Lisbon. Almost forgot I was going to speak about there, but Arsenal have just drawn with Sporting Lisbon in the Europa League. Yesterday in the Checker Trade Trophy, we played against Forest Green Rovers. Arsenal travelled to Forest Green Rovers to play in the Checker Trade Trophy. We know it's a game where it's a good, for me, in fact, for away from all that, it's a good trophy. I mean, the under-23s, especially the ones like Willock that are on the cusp of first-team football, men's senior football, it's a good test regardless of the level of the opposition. They learn more playing against these sort of people than they will under-23 levels because they're playing against men and things like that, and because it's a cup competition, so you've got to be very cerebral. So yeah, we obviously got smacked. Cheltenham Town had scored 6 or so against us in the last outing, so we know we need to do better in that regards. So I'm happy to see they won, but in regards to how the game went, I must say, it was a weird game because we won 3-1 at the end of the day, and it was for me, definitely the second half was a joy. But I do think initially Forest Green Rovers were actually in control of the game first 20 minutes or so. We had to do a lot of doggy work, chasing shadows, remaining in position and stuff. Because I actually felt Forest Green were bopping it, and the under 23s would have learned a lesson from that, because especially the top 6 sides, but specific to Arsenal, most sides that we play, we'd be expected to have the lion's share of possession, and they'll have to adapt their game to how we're rolling. The shoe was on the other foot, so they would have learnt more in that, how to be patient. I did see a couple of our young attacking players getting frustrated in this initial stages, because whenever they got the ball, we couldn't seem to hold on to it. And on another day, maybe Forest Green Rovers make us pay for that. But other than that, that being said, it did look throughout the whole game, the left-hand channel with Saka, for me, people, I don't want to overrate players and I don't advocate them sort of things, but he looks a special talent. I've watched a lot of him. You've seen all my vids about him. I've watched him play at fullback. I've watched him play at the flanks. I've watched him play for England. I've watched him play for Arsenal, and the man is special. Constant threat for Forest Green. I mean, down that left-hand side, he was dancing past players all game, but 13th, 14th minute, I think Colin Bramwell put in a lovely ball, a lovely low-whipped cross, but no one was there. He did a couple of them throughout the whole game, and no one was kind of there for them. Can't remember who set up John Jules for the last goal, but if it was him, credit to him. But yeah, if I was him, it's a bit deep because, ironically, the next day, this lot was on Wednesday. On the next day, Arsenal were playing in the Europa League, and you saw Eddie and Emil. They didn't play in this game because at the time, obviously Eddie didn't come off the bench because of what happened with Liechtenstein. But at that moment in time, them 2 young players were training with the first team, and you're a 22-year-old fullback. There's concerns over fullback status at the club, specific to the left backs, your position, and you haven't been involved. You're travelling to Forest Green when the others are gearing up for a game. That shows you probably don't have a future here. If Jenkinson got more experience than him, maybe that's why Unai leaned to him. But if you're not going to get a run out against Sporting Lisbon or in any cup competition because of this, then it's over. But I felt he did all right, man. And yeah, man, after the first 20 minutes, we started to get combination plays going. We had some good little breaks that we weren't really the quality on the finish wasn't quite there. We're shooting it straight into the keeper, or people are pulling their shots just wide. But we're starting to grow into it. We're starting to have chances. 21st minute, Saka danced past a couple players and drew his shot wide. Again, in the 28th minute, Bramwell put in a lovely ball, but again, no one there to find him. Yeah, man, like we were unlucky not to really grab a goal and things like that. And as the game's going on, we're really starting to have a go of things, and we're starting to get our play going. I felt our midfielders, it was nice to see Zelalem starting the game and away from his injury issues, but I did feel our midfielders could have done more to get us get a foothold in the game of sorts with in my opinion, people. Willock, etc., they were playing nice passes. I just felt they could have done a bit more in that regard. Not just them, all of us, to be fair with you. 33rd minute again, probably in the same breath again, Saka's dancing past players, and he drew a lovely he either drew a save or he ended up being impeded, if I remember correctly, because there's quite a few phases of play he was dancing past players, people, especially on the counter. Saka was undoubtedly the best player on the field for me, but yeah, man, So towards the end of the first half, again, Cohen and Saka down the left-hand side causing issues. I felt John Jules is sad because he seems to be being marked out of the game. He looks a frustrated figure. Trey Coyle wants to get onto the ball a bit more. I felt Olienka's not a right back, but I felt he was doing all right going forward and offering an outlet. But yeah, man. Yeah, we gifted away a cheap free kick that almost led to a Forest Green goal. That was a good effort from whoever's the man from Forest Green. But we broke, minutes later we managed to break, and then obviously you saw Saka dance past several players before being brought down for a penalty. Joe Willock, if I remember correctly, Joe Willock's actually the one to... Where's the other notes? Yeah, if I remember correctly, Pete, where is it, man? This is jarring. Yeah, if I remember... Anyways, I'm pretty sure I remember it. 40 minutes or so, or whenever, Willock, it's a weird penalty to take, but he takes a weird penalty and he puts it in, and it's 1-0 at that moment in time. How did we score the second? The second was a lovely bit of play. Again, we broke. It was a lovely bit of play. Again, Saka's involved. I think it was his way of pass. It eventually finds Willock, and Willock slots it home. And it's 2-0 at that point. I can't even remember. No, they didn't score in the first half. So we carry on, and you're thinking, all right, cool, it's 2-0. These boys are still learning how to see out games and things like that. You're thinking, all right, cool, second half, let's not take any more risks. We get that third and kill it, because we all know 2-0 is a very dangerous lead in football to hold on to. Try and impact the game a bit more in terms of what we can do in an offensive sense, because I do feel we have a bit more potential in that. And just know when to take risks, just game management, because we're trying to qualify from this group as well. So while we can't think of things that are outside of this 90 minutes, you've got to keep one eye on that, or keep that in mind of sorts. And that's why I'm a fan of cup competitions like this, or our young players being tested like this, because academy football specific to under 23 football, yes, there's must-win games if they want to win the second title, to Premier League 2 title, but more often than not, yeah, you will learn. If you make a mistake and you get ripped and stuff, you have to learn from that. You will learn from that. I'm not saying they don't, but more often than not, there's not any context to the game. It's, okay, we've played a game of football, we've won 3-0, we've lost 5-2. It doesn't really matter. These are the sort of competitions which help young players and helps it to become a bit more cutthroat. But anyways, it's 2-0 in the second half, and I'm starting to like how we're playing. John Jules, for me, after being frustrated in the first half, he's looking like a new player in the second half. He's dropping deep. For me as well, man, because of he isn't small by any stretch of the imagination. But it always surprised me how good of a physical presence he is. He's a very good physical presence. He was dropping deep, getting involved in play, cute little layoffs, and then running onto it. He was getting the ball on his chest, bringing people into play, playing with his back towards goal. Not many young players, strikers, are able to do that at ease, and that's one thing he's got in his locker. You look at Martial and Rashford, who are ahead of him for instance. I'm not saying he's levels or he's better than them or whatever. They both have issues playing with their back to goal. I think he's probably better than them in that regards. So yeah, he's alive. Our fullbacks are offering in Olienka, and Bramwell. They're offering problems down either flank. Our midfielders are starting to get into the game. Gilmore's came into the game, and I have come on for Zalalem, I should say. And I have a video on him because I do think he's a player that don't like the spotlight. He likes to let other players shine, and he does the dirty work. And I think he came and done that a bit. He kind of, I don't want to say solidified, because I don't want to do a discredit to the rest of the team, because I felt him and them together actually helped. But yeah, he kind of gave us a bit more stability. You know, he doesn't like to, I think he's got better ball playing ability than he suggests, but you know, he doesn't like to take many risks. He was putting out fires. We were starting to manage the game a bit more, but I won't lie, the only error I can really see in this game, for me personally, is the goal we conceded. It's a cheap goal to concede. We're caught playing out from the back. I think it was Peglow, so forgive me if I've said his name incorrectly and if it wasn't him. But if I remember correctly, the ball comes to him from a goalie. He tries to play a naive pass inside to Trey Coyle. It's a hospital pass. There's not much weight on it. Coyle can't get to it. It looks like it's Coyle's fault, but there's nothing. It's a hospital pass. It's a hospital pass. If he makes that, his ankle probably would have been broke. But Forest Green take advantage of it. They counter-attack, and eventually, if the ball finds their way into the back of the net, and it's 2-1 at this moment in time, and this game could have went either way. Having said that, we did look in control. We were playing some nice stuff, like I said to you guys, people. We're playing some good football and things like that. And I feel we deserved the third goal. Again, it's a lovely. The initial move was a good move, but initially we counter attack again. I think Saka's involved down the left, and I think even Willock was involved, and John Jules, ironically. The keeper saves it. That move breaks down. The ball then finds its way to one of our players on the left-hand side. They put a ball in. And again, what I like about John Jules, Tyrese John Jules in this game, he is the only one that gambled. It's a lovely ball from the Arsenal player to put it into the box, but he's the only one that gambles. He gambles to the far post. Obviously, all he has to do is meet it, and he probably won't score many easier goals in his initial youth career at Arsenal than that. It's 3-1 at this moment in time. It's a kick in the teeth to Forest Green Rovers, and we do what we need to do in this regards, man. We managed the game out from that point, and yeah, we walk away from their place with a 3-1 victory. It was a tough initial first 20 minutes. Throughout the whole game, there was some phases where they troubled us, but all in all, we win 3-1. Admittedly, people, I should have checked before this, but I'm not too sure where that puts us in the group. But we've beat Coventry. We've beat Coventry now. We've beat Forest Green Rovers. We suffered defeat to Cheltenham. I'm not too sure if that, off the top of my head, that must put us second. For some reason, I don't think we're first. But yeah, either way, we've put ourselves in a good shout in regards to qualifying, and we just need to keep winning these group stage games. And I would love the young players to win this cup competition, but there's some tough youth sides in this. But either way, win or losing, like you saw with last week when they lost 6-1 or 6-2 or whatever scoreline it was to Cheltenham, they would have learnt lessons. In defeat, they learn lessons. In this victory, they would have learnt lessons. Probably another issue is, pardon me, people, like at first team level, it's another game without a clean sheet, to be fair with you. So yeah, obviously we saw our boys sadly defeated against Chelsea, and they were hit for 6 against Cheltenham in this cup competition, and they've conceded another. So in the last 3 games, that's 11, 12, 13 goals, people. Mass is poor. But yeah, not much more to say on that front, man. It's a win, so they did what they needed to do. It's nice to see that our youth side won, and it's nice to see that, well, I was about to say that we won against Sporting Lisbon, but I just remembered we drew. But yeah, I'm waffling at this point. Let me get out of here. People, deluded, I'm out.